Hi, my name is Jeanette Diaz, and I currently live in Bronx, New York. I was born and raised here. I have 26 years of experience with young children. All of my jobs have been with young children. I've never had any other type of job. I've worked in schools, daycares, shelters. I also worked in Puerto Rico with young children. I lived there for 3 years. I also had my own daycare, licensed by the state of New York for 11 years. And then I shut it down to take care of my mother when it was time for me to get back to work when she got better. I found work in a center where I'm still there. In February, I will have 6 years with this company. And I was just promoted to, teach the 3-year-olds. I started out in that company, the infant room. And then from the infant room, they just promoted me from each room, and now I'm with the 3s. When I read the article, what seemed familiar to me was reading to the class, because I do this with each class I've had. I read to them in the morning and then in the afternoon. When I was with the kids who were about to be 2, their obsession was brown bear, brown bear. The kids I'm with now, they're obsessed with I love my white shoes. Pete the cat, I love my white shoes. So I remember when I was with the 2s, almost 2s, this little girl, I started reciting the book. I just memorized it because we would read it every day. And when I stopped, she continued it. And I had to record her. I was like, I have to get this on video so her mom can see. And I still have the video to this day, and I think it's from 3 or 4 years ago. And she recited it perfectly. And I sent it to her mom. Her mom was blown away. She was like, how is it she memorized that? And I explained to the mom, I was like, this is their a little obsession right now, which is brown bear, brown bear. And till this day, there are other classes. For some reason, that book grabs their attention right away. So her mom was just surprised that her child was able to recite this story to her. And I told her, I will buy you the book so you can read it to her at home. The little girl would take the book and sit with it, and she would look at the pictures. It would look like she's reading it because she would turn the pages. Brown bear, what do you see? But it's because she had it already memorized it. But if you looked at her, she was sitting with the book open, and it looked like she was reading, but she just memorized it. But she would flip the pages. She would look at the pictures of the bear, the bird, and the horse, the blue horse, but she knew what came next. But it looked like she was reading. And I was surprised when the article said that written language is harder to learn than oral. Because for me, it was the other way around. Even though I was born and raised here, I had to learn English in school. My parents are from Puerto Rico. So in my house, it was Spanish only. Me, my brother, my parents, it was just straight up Spanish. And I had to learn English in school when I started kindergarten. So not only did I have to learn the curriculum from my school, from my class, I also had to learn another language. And then when I would go home, I had to switch it over to Spanish. So at first it was a bit confusing for me, but eventually I got it. And now I'm able to switch back and forth and translate and do all this cool stuff with being bilingual. But I always thought it was the other way around. So it was just interesting to see that no, it's not that way. It's the other way that's more difficult for kids to learn.